How might project-based learning differ in constructivist versus constructionist pedagogies? So for computer science educators like constructionists like Mitch Resnick, Seymour Papert, Kafai, Pepler, etc., like these are all people who are well known for constructionist approaches. I've unpacked many of their papers, as well as interviewed Mitch Resnick in episode 106, which is titled Lifelong Kindergarten with Mitch Resnick. So if you haven't listened to that, I highly recommend it. But constructionist approaches typically focus on learning through creating something, whether it's like an app or a device or whatever, while constructivist is more social. You're learning through communication, collaboration, etc., not necessarily having to build something. So project-based learning is used in both different types of pedagogical approaches, and how might that work in computer science classes? Like, again, going back to the ethics discussions, maybe you're going to lean more towards constructivist approaches when talking about algorithmic bias, etc., because you're not able to have students construct their own large language model or their own facial recognition technology or whatever. Or maybe you do have some options to actually construct that, or maybe it's somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's not actually building something from scratch, but is instead just kind of like remixing it or something like that. So considering how might students demonstrate their understanding, explore their own interests, or express themselves outside of just active creation? While I prefer students to engage in hands-on learning is not just limited to the actual physical creation of something or some kind of an app or whatever. It's just a gentle challenge to say constructionism is great, but also constructivism is great in other ways. This excerpt of the CSK8 podcast is from episode number 194, which is titled Bringing Curriculum to Life: Enacting Project-Based Learning in Computer Science Programs. You can listen to the full episode as well as hundreds more by searching for the CSK8 podcast or by simply going to jaredoleary.com.